Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Random Crafty X, or welcome to Random Crafty X if you haven't been here before. My name is Barb. This is an extension of, or continuation, or whatever, of the videos I'm doing using card sketches. Where's the one I made this morning? The first one I made, not with this. Where I put it. Well, doesn't matter. Okay, so the first, there we go. Just so you know, I'm not always real organized. The first card I made, and I did a video on to introduce Card Sketch 3 at Cards TV, which there will be a link. There was a link at the bottom of the video, and there'll be one on this one as well. And basically, I did pretty much what she did here. I went out to, this is an A2 card base, and down here I put a note that I'm used the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And 4 1/8, 5 3/8. That's what I tend to do. I like the way that leaves the edging, and it leaves, I feel like it leaves a little less white space, if that's what we call it. Okay. And as I cut these, I ended up with some scraps that I really couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with, so they're over here in the scrap bin. But one of the things I realized was, and this is something about her sketches, or any of these sketches, that when you're trying to figure out how to cut your pieces, that you might want to keep an eye on. Notice you've got 3 1/4 here and 3 3/4, excuse me, 3 3/4 here. Okay, and then these pieces are in 1/8. All right, so that would mean that if I'm cutting from a 6 by 6 or any particular piece, I can cut my 3 3/4 first, and then turn it, and then cut my 1 5/8 and my 3 3/8, and I will have fewer scraps, okay? Or scraps that maybe you can do something with. So that worked with these, okay? So, and I need to make sure I'm in frame. I am. It's a little low. Let's move this up. This is a new mat. This is a Teflon mat that supposedly, having watched someone I really trust use this, if I like squirt the paint on there, I can just wipe it up and it won't stain, which will be wonderful. Okay, so we're going to cut following this theory and see how that works. Okay, all right, so this is a piece of 6 by 6, and we're going to cut the 3 3/4 first. So that's right here. All right, now, so the first thing I notice is, notice how big this piece is over here. And this is a size that you can actually do something with, and I'll show you some samples of that. All right, now we're going to turn it. Okay, and we're going to cut 3 3/8, which is the big piece down at the bottom. Okay, and then this needs to be 1 5/8, and I have a little trouble with this, getting this to line up. I messed up a piece earlier to get that lined right there. Make sure that's okay. And see, that's off. I'm going to try the other cutter. The blade needs changed, which is why I'm avoiding using it. And I really don't have the 5/8 measurement the way I would like it. Okay. All right. That's just what I technically refer to as a scooch. And then I've got a little bit of white down here. Okay. Right, so we're going to hang on to these two pieces because they're big enough. I'll show you some examples of things you can do with those. All right, so I cut everything else. We're going to put this on blue. Okay, because that's the reverse side of this. And we're going to put it out in the center. The cards in this video are going to some specific people. I don't usually do this, but there's some people that I've been carrying on my heart, and there will be a note on the back of the card when they get it in the mail that they can watch the video of me making the card that they're holding, and know that I was thinking of them while I was doing this. Okay. Not that I don't. I mean, even I donate all my cards to Cards for Kindness, and I do think about how the people who get the cards will appreciate them, and that it will make them feel better. And we always, anytime we're creating, we are thinking about the people who get what we make. In this particular case, though, they're going to some people that I really, really, really do wish I could hug. Okay, let's put this on here. This is the sentiment. Basically, I'm copying off of this card. I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on black because I like the way that makes it pop. All right. Then put this down at the bottom. And one of the people who will be getting this card has a cat that comforts them. So and I like the way the cat is looking that way, like it's looking towards, okay, so what's on the inside of this card? Let me put my glue on here. I use liquid glue. A lot of people use double-sided adhesive. I do not because my stuff moves. All right, so now this piece is just the right size to go on the top of here and decorate the inside of the card, which I could have done with either color. Okay. All right. So there's that. Okay. And then the other thing that I did was I started kind of moving around with a couple of the other card sketches that I'd been working with. So these next two cards are kind of like, this is sketch 3. I worked with sketch 29. And so this is really not at all like either one of those, but it's similar to a style I've done before. So what I did was I took the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I ran it through the embossing folder, and just to put some design on the paper. Now, here's the thing you have to keep in mind. This is a strip that I was playing with some new watercolors. And when you glue anything on this, you have to remember that you've got to use a little extra glue. All right, this was a piece that was left from this. So you'll see me, if you watch a lot of what I do, I'm often trying to pull these pieces back in just, you know, to be a little more efficient. Okay, and then we're going to glue this here. And then we're going to put our sentiment in the middle of the butterflies, so they're carrying the hug. Okay. It's interesting about butterflies. We had some fennel growing, and so we ended up with black swallowtail caterpillars, which we tried. We didn't have netting to put out, but we tried to protect them because we are in Illinois and the cardinals are one of our primary bird here in our area, and they love those caterpillars. And so it went really well for a while, and then 2 nights ago, I guess they had an all-night party, and pretty much all of the caterpillars were gone except for 2 that managed to, and how they get from like one side of the yard to the other, or like the long distances that they travel, except for 2 that have managed to pupate, meaning they have gone into a cocoon. And it's a fascinating process, and you never appreciate nature until you start reading about how that actually works. But anyway, we are now, the people who follow me on Facebook are like actively watching to see if these actually make it to be butterflies. We've all got our fingers crossed. Okay, so this was a piece that I cut off of some of that watercolor that I did. They were both the same. These are the same. I ran them both through the embossing folder and then cut and put these strips down the side. And that allowed me to use pretty much the rest of this paper. Okay. And then I took the 2 pieces I had left over there, just put them on other sides, and I had a pretty good sized piece of this butterfly paper left. So I just put that on either side and put that out in the middle. Okay, which leaves this, and I've still got this piece, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't like that. And that doesn't work, and that doesn't work. So they'll end up on something, but here's the other way that I did this. I cut this down to 5. That's almost the same size as that. I want that to be a little bit shorter. So let me double measure this black mat and make sure that it's 5 3/8. No, this is 5 1/4. This is 5 1/4. Okay, we're going to take this all the way down to 5 1/4 and then take this to 4, because that's the standard size that you use when you're out. When you're at this point, which means then that this stretches all the way down the card, and this stretches all the way down the card. I can live with that. Okay. When you're doing construction, I've always heard the measure twice, cut once. I think that kind of fits when it comes to crafting as well. Okay. And then we're going to put this piece on this side. Yeah, I've got a card over there. Then we're going to put this out in the center. All right, and we're going to put a thinking of you in the middle of this one. All right, and then we're going to put this on the card. And while yes, we could put like a pink layer on the back of that, I don't think I have any more that matches that. Because I'm working out of my stash, I am on a what is commonly referred to as a no-buy. Okay, and then I have another piece of this that will go on the inside here to help decorate the inside of the card. Okay. All right, so we ended up with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, which is not bad for a day of crafting. And this big piece, and I will be looking at the card sketches and seeing if I can come up with, like, nothing is like jumping out at me right at the moment, so we'll see what I can come up with for that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would do that. I try to put lots of links at the end of each of my videos down in the description so that people who are, if they find the channel, if they find my channel, if they find these videos and they're looking for beginning crafting and beginning card making videos, that they'll get the help they need or the inspiration they need. This is the stamp that my granddaughter designed and gifted me. It says Random Acts of Kindness Studios. I'm not a business, but I do like to be kind. Okay. And I stamp this on the back of all my cards. But everything I know how to do, I learned on YouTube and from some amazing people that were really good teachers, and so I'm just kind of like passing things on, and I try to stay very, very basic. It's why I don't edit my videos. I mean, if I cut something and it goes, okay, that slides around. If it goes badly, I try to roll with it, because, you know, I don't want you to think that if you cut something and it doesn't go the way you thought it would go, that you have to like throw it away and start over, because there's always a way to try to work with it. So anyway, if you would, please subscribe to my channel, and it doesn't cost you anything, and it just kind of helps get the videos out there when someone is looking. Okay. All right. There we go. All right, and remember we were starting with Cards TV by Mary. Watch for her in the link below, and this was sketch number 3 that I had started working off of. All right, thank you. And for those who got these cards, I really was thinking of you. Love you.